Guys, so I shared this picture over on my Instagram and asked you guys if you would like to see a tutorial on how I've been styling my hair since I had it cut. It was a resounding yes, so I have filmed it today just to show you guys how I achieve salon bouncy blowout at home. Obviously, to achieve this I needed many more layers in my hair, hence why I went and had a cut. So I've washed it and I'm going to show you how to achieve it. You can see how much shorter it is. I had 5 inches off my hair when I went to Michael Van Clark and had the diamond dry cut. So to start with, I'm going to use the Michael Van Clark Eureka blow dry balm. They use this on me in the salon. It really does speed up your blow dry time. It helps to smooth and tame frizz, but it also adds some heat protectant. These were actually recommended and used on me in the video that I shared of my haircut, and some of you, even from America, have said that you use the Michael Van Clark products, so I will link these all below for you if you want to try them for yourself. So I work that from root to ends, and then I use my Denman paddle brush to work that through. There is actually a brush that Michael Van Clark gave to me to try. I haven't opened it yet, but I will show it in a future tutorial because it's won so many awards and it's supposed to be fantastic at styling and detangling the hair as an all-in-one brush. So I'm following the steps that Millie Rose did when she gave my hair a beautiful blowout blow dry. After the Eureka blow dry balm, she went in with the Michael Van Clark Thicker Quicker volumizing blow dry spray. This really gave a lot of volume to the root of my hair, and also it lasted until I washed it, which was probably about 4 to 5 days later. I really made the most of my blow dry. So I'm just parting my hair and popping this in at the root, a couple of sprays along the length of the parting. So I'm also doing this at the front, and don't forget the sides of your hair. Now ordinarily, off camera, I like to blow dry my hair upside down for maximum root lift. On camera, in my studio, that's a little bit more difficult, so I'm just going to tip my head to the side, but I would definitely recommend giving your hair a blast upside down. The one I'm using is by GHD. I have absolutely fallen in love with this. I've used it for a couple of years now and it's my favourite. Whenever I'm on holiday with a girlfriend and they use this, they always say how quick it is at drying. It really is so fast, so effective, so I don't think I'll ever change it because it's fantastic. You can see here I'm lifting the root to try and get as much lift here. Obviously, again, I prefer to blow it upside down, but when you can't, also use your fingers to add some root lift while you dry. Then I'm using my Denman paddle brush to smooth out the length of my hair to the very tip. I don't want my hair to be bone dry, but we want to get around 80 to 90% dry, so when you put your hands in it, it still feels cool. The smoothing out part of this for me is important. We are going to be using the Dyson Airwrap today, and I feel like if you don't do the smoothing in advance, then you don't get a very smooth finish. That's just my experience with using the Dyson Airwrap, so I prefer to do this. You can use the Dyson Airwrap with the attachments to smooth the hair out if that's your preference. I prefer to use my GHD Hairdryer. If your hair is naturally straight, you can forego this step, but my hair's naturally wavy. It has a slight curl at the back, so I prefer to give it a quick blast with the hairdryer and the paddle brush to help smooth it out. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be using the Dyson Airwrap. I have the long barrel, the one that has the twisty top so you can change the direction without having to actually change the attachment, which is fantastic. You can start however you like. Some people like to start at the bottom of their hair and tie the top up as they work. I like to do that often. Today I just started at the front, so it's really your preference, but I'm going to start with my fringe or my bangs if you're American, and I'm going to pin the rest of my hair out the way so it's a little bit cleaner for you guys to see what I'm doing. Before you curl each section, make sure you comb it first so all the hair is smooth. Then you can start with the Dyson Airwrap. I sometimes will give it one blast on the Dyson Airwrap for literally 3 seconds to help smooth the shaft of the hair before re-wrapping it. That is completely up to you. Again, it depends on the coarseness of your hair, if it's particularly wiry, if you've got a lot of greys, if your hair's very curly. This will help to smooth out those cuticles. That way when you go back in and use it for the full 15 seconds, you'll get a much smoother finish. I don't like my fringe to be too curly, and I am going to be pin curling these, so I'm going to re-wrap them once I take them out of the Dyson Airwrap, and then I'm going to pin them until they cool. But sometimes I like to do what I'm doing here, where I've left my fringe out and I'm curling the section behind it. Once I take this out of the Dyson Airwrap, I'm going to roll these together. That way my fringe won't be too tightly curled. Obviously, if you want a tighter curl to your hair, then just roll it up when it comes straight off the Dyson Airwrap in a smaller section. That way you'll get a more curly finish. With the front section of my hair being the fringe and the two sides, I don't leave them in that heat for the full 15 seconds. I'll probably do them for more like 7, and then I give them the cool blast because it has the cool shot that helps to set the curl. So here you can see I've wrapped my fringe with that back section, and now I'm going to use some pins just to keep it in place while it cools. This is really going to help to create a lot more of a curl to the lower half of the hair. And obviously I have layers in my hair now, or a lot more layers than I used to have, so I get a lot more swishy volume to my hair. So I'm going to repeat the same process. It's up to you if you want to wrap your hair in the opposite direction. When I use a curler, I always vary the direction of the curl. One will go to the left, then one will go to the right, and this just creates a lot more volume in the hair because the curls don't all wrap together. But when you're creating more of a kind of 90s blowout, it works better when the hair's all going in the same direction. So for instance, I'm wrapping everything under, but you can wrap some away from your face. You can roll them up, you can roll them under. It really is just down to personal preference. These back sections I'm keeping on there for around 15 seconds or just under, and then I give it a cool shot for around 15 seconds as well. But where the hair's finer around the front of the face, as I mentioned earlier, I don't keep it on the heat for quite as long. So now I have a mohawk of rolls. I finished all the way down to the back. I then split the side of my hair into 2 sections. I have the front section in front of my ear and then the section slightly behind. The one behind I will often wrap in 3 individual sections, and the front one will either be in 1 or 2 sections. So it really is preference. And then when I work on the opposite side of my head, I rotate the knob at the top of the barrel, meaning that the centrifugal force that wraps the hair is now going in the opposite direction, so I can use my other hand. This is so I'm wrapping it all under, whereas if I wanted to wrap the hair upwards instead, then I wouldn't have changed the direction. Once they've all been pinned in place, you can just pop a little bit of hairspray in and wait for that to completely cool. The longer you sit with it in, the longer the style will last. So now I'm just going to take my pins out. Be gentle when you're removing these. Sometimes your hair can get wrapped around the end of the pin, and as you tug it, you can often lose a couple of hairs. So just be gentle and patient with yourself when you're removing them. That way you won't lose any hairs. You can already see I've got a lot of lift at the root, and that's because I've applied the Thicker Quicker spray, but also because I rolled them under. That just gave me a lot more lift. So I'm going to gently shake these out, and I'm just going to stand up a little bit so you can see the back. We have this beautiful wave at the bottom. It is a curl, but it will eventually be a wave. If you want it to remain as a curl, you can apply a thermal modeling spray such as Pli by Loreal, because this will help to hold that shape a lot longer. Applying some mousse before you wrap will help, and also some additional hairspray at the end here will also help to keep your shape. I'm looking for more of that blowout finish, so I really like it once the curls drop a little bit. Having that additional length off of my hair really helps to make the hair feel bouncy and light, and it's a lot thicker at the bottom, so I've got a lot more fullness to my hair, which I am absolutely loving. You can see when I swish it from the left to the right, it has lots of shape because of all those layers. The diamond dry cut really does give you that 90s feel to your hair, and the Dyson Airwrap also means you're not standing there blow drying your hair in the traditional way, which is beautiful, but when you're doing it on yourself, it's a lot more time consuming and your arms ache terribly. Obviously I can't speak for everybody, but when you have long hair like mine, it's definitely more of a task. So I've shown you how it looks on the left and the right, and now this is how it looks in the center. I've obviously not brushed it through, which will give you a smoother finish, but I just wanted to show you the result of the cut and me styling it at home and how I've been using the Dyson Airwrap just for ease. I also really like it when I style it with my hot brush by GHD. And if you'd like to see how it looks a couple of hours later, keep watching. I'm going to show you now on my mobile. Just come on here to show you how my hair looks a couple of hours later when it's relaxed a little bit and it's kind of not as curly. It gives more of a kind of blowout finish. And this is how it lasts for a couple of days. So I really, really love this. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions on the Dyson Airwrap, the haircut, please leave them in the comment section. I'll do my best to get back to you. I will list and link everything that I've recommended or used in the description bar as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you are new to my channel. My name is Shonagh Scott. I am a makeup artist and I upload weekly content that's all beauty orientated. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye guys.